ureotelic animals are the animals which eliminate the excretory waste, that is the nitrogenous waste, in the form of urea, and the classical example for ureotelic animals is human beings. The outer layer of kidney is enclosed by a tough capsule called renal capsule. So the network of capillaries are called glomerulus. The Mohrmann's capsule and glomerulus together is called as Malpighian corpuscle. Hello everyone, welcome back to session 2 of this interesting physiological process called excretory products and their elimination. Myself, B. Shobha Rani from the Department of Biology, Vidyashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence. Hope you remember in my last session, we studied about the definition of excretion. What is excretion? Excretion is nothing but a very important physiological process for the elimination of the nitrogenous waste from the body. So based on the type of nitrogenous waste eliminated from the body, the animals have been broadly classified into ammonotelic, ureotelic and uricotelic animals. So we have studied all that, and we have also come across that ammonia is highly toxic and it is easily soluble in water and usually takes place in aquatic animals like the fishes and the tadpoles. Whereas urea is less toxic and it is excreted by mammals. Then coming across the uric acid, which is eliminated by the insects, by the birds and the reptiles. So now let us understand about the ureotelic animals. Ureotelic animals are the animals which eliminate the excretory waste, that is the nitrogenous waste, in the form of urea, and the classical example for ureotelic animals is human beings, mammals. So now let us understand about the human excretory system. So very important system is this particular system called the excretory system. Now let us, I think in this beautiful picture, you can see the human excretory system. This is the diagram of human excretory system. Human excretory system, which consists of a pair of kidneys. Here you can see the right kidney and the left kidney, a pair of kidneys. Then you can see the renal artery. Then you can see the aorta. And here you can see the two ureters. And you can see the urinary bladder and urethra. So ureter, then the kidney, then the renal artery, aorta, vena cava, then the ureter, bladder and urethra. Now let us understand one by one about the parts that are included under human excretory system. Human excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys. Here you can see a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, and urinary bladder. Here you can see, and urethra. So what a human excretory system consists of? What are the main parts of excretory system? A pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, a urinary bladder and urethra. That is a pair of kidneys, then a pair of ureters, then urinary bladder and urethra. Kidneys, I think if you can see in the diagram, you can make out the kidneys are reddish brown in color. They are reddish brown in color and bean shaped. Here you can see they are bean shaped structures. So kidneys are reddish brown in color and they are bean shaped in structures. Where are they located? Kidneys are situated at the last thoracic and third lumbar vertebrae, close to the dorsal inner wall of the abdominal cavity. So each kidney is located on the either side of the last thoracic and third lumbar vertebrae, close to the dorsal inner wall of the abdominal cavity. So human excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys. Here you can see a pair of ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. Kidneys are reddish brown in color, bean-shaped structures, and kidneys are situated on either side of at the last thoracic and third lumbar vertebrae, close to the dorsal inner wall of the abdominal cavity. each kidney measures around. So here, what is the measurement of the kidney? I think you might have come across a word called kidney transplantation also. So when there is a kidney failure, science and technology, particularly in the field of medicine, I think wonders are being done in the field of medicine, where organ transplantation is very common now, particularly to the rescue of the diseased person. For example, if a person's kidney is not functioning properly, then kidney transplantation is also done. Just like heart transplantation, kidney transplantation also is done. So there is there is a ray of hope even for the disease where the people have the kidney failure. So each kidney measures around 10 to 12 centimeter in length. So what is the length? 10 to 12 centimeter. So the length is 10 to 12 centimeter in length, 5 to 7 centimeter width. So width is how much? Width is 5 to 7 centimeter and 2 to 3 centimeter in thickness. So the thickness of the kidney is 2 to 3 centimeter. So width is 5 to 7 centimeter, 2 to 3 centimeter in thickness, and weighs about 120 to 170 grams in adults. So each kidney measures around 10 to 12 centimeter in length, then 5 to 7 centimeter width, 2 to 3 centimeter in thickness, and weighs about 120 to 170 grams in adults. So the inner concave surface. So here you can see the inner concave surface facing the vertebral column. Facing the vertebral column has a notch called hilum. Here you can see the hilum. So it is called as hilum, through which, so this is called as hilum, through which the ureter, blood vessels and the nerves enter. So here you can see the ureter and the blood vessels enter. And inner to the hilum, that is inner to the hilum, there is a broad funnel shaped space called the renal pelvis. So this is called as the renal pelvis. So this is called renal pelvis. This is called renal pelvis with projections called calyces. So anyhow, I'll be showing you the diagram, the vertical section of a kidney, then you will understand. So each kidney measures around 10 to 12 centimeter in length, 5 to 7 centimeter in width, then 2 to 3 centimeter in thickness, and weighs about 120 to 170 grams in adults. So the inner concave surface facing the vertebral column has a notch called hilum, and through which the ureter, the blood vessels and the nerves enter. And inner to the hilum, there is a broad funnel shaped space called the renal pelvis with projections called calyces. Then the outer layer of kidney is enclosed by a tough capsule called renal capsule. So the outer layer of kidney is enclosed by a tough capsule called renal capsule. So inside the kidney, there are two zones, namely outer cortex and an inner medulla. So when we take the section like this, so this is called outer cortex and this is called inner medulla, right? So the medulla is divided into few conical structures called renal pyramids. So here you can see they are divided into renal pyramids. So these are called as renal. The other name for kidney is what? It is called renal gland. So renal gland, hence it is called renal. Kidney is also called renal. So renal pyramids. Renal pyramids. And the cortex extends in between the medullary pyramids. So it is going to, the cortex is going to extend between the renal pyramids or renal as renal columns called columns of Bertini. So here you can see the renal, that is the columns of Bertini. So the outer layer of kidney is enclosed by a tough capsule called renal capsule. Inside the kidney there are two zones, namely outer cortex and an inner medulla. The medulla is divided into few conical structures called renal pyramids projecting into calyces. The cortex extends in between the medullary pyramids or renal pyramids as renal columns called columns of Bertini. Each kidney has nearly 1 million complex tubular structures called nephrons. So each kidney has nephrons. So nephrons, like millions of structures, complex tubular structures called nephrons, and nephrons are the structural and functional units of kidney. They are the structural and functional units of kidney. And nephrons, as I said, they are the functional units of kidney. So when we study about the structure of a kidney, the whole of the kidney is divided into outer cortex and inner medulla. So the outer layer of the kidney is enclosed by a tough capsule called renal capsule. Inside the kidney, there are two zones. As I said, the outer cortex and inner medulla. The medulla is divided into, the inner part which is called medulla is divided into conical structures called renal pyramids. Projecting into, these are called as calyces. These are called as calyces. The cortex extends in between the medullary pyramids as what? Columns of Bertini. Here you can see the columns of Bertini like this. These are called columns of Bertini. Then each kidney has what? Nearly 1 million complex tubular structures called nephrons. Nephrons are the structural and functional units of kidney. Here you can see the structure of a nephron. Here you can see the Bowman's capsule. Put together it is called as renal corpuscle. Then you can see the proximal convoluted tubule from here, and this is called the Henle's loop, and this is called Malpighian corpuscle. And this is called PCT. So then this is called Henle's loop, and this is called DCT, that is distal convoluted tubule, and this is called the collecting tubule. So here you can see the afferent and afferent blood vessel, and here you can see the glomerulus. Glomerulus is nothing but called the tuft of blood vessels. This is how the nephron looks. Nephron. So nephron are the units of kidney. They are the units of kidney. So nephrons are the structural and functional units of excretory system. Few nephrons are found in the cortex region called cortical nephrons, and the nephrons found at the junction of cortex and medulla are called juxtamedullary nephrons. So nephrons are the structural and functional units of excretory system, and few nephrons are found in the cortex region are called as cortical nephrons. And the nephrons found at the junction of cortex and medulla are called juxtamedullary nephrons. Nephron consists of two parts. One is called renal corpuscle, the other one is called renal tubule. So this is called renal corpuscle. The rest is called renal tubules. The rest is called the renal tubules. So nephrons are the structural and functional units of excretory system. Few nephrons are found in the cortex region are called cortical nephrons, and the nephrons found at the junction of cortex and medulla are called juxtamedullary nephrons. A nephron consists of two parts such as renal corpuscle and renal tubule. So now let us understand about the renal corpuscle. Renal corpuscle is also called as, so this is the renal corpuscle, which is also called as Malpighian corpuscle. So here you can see the afferent arteriole, and this is called the Bowman's capsule, and this is the glomerulus. Glomerulus is nothing but tuft of blood capillaries. As you know, blood does the process of filtration. So it is called tuft of blood capillaries. So renal corpuscle or Malpighian corpuscle consists of a cup or a bowl-shaped structure called Bowman's capsule. So this whole cup-like structure is called Bowman's capsule. So this is whole cup-like structure. I think if you see the renal corpuscle, you can make out it is just like a cup-like structure. So it consists of a cup or a bowl-shaped structure called Bowman's capsule, composed of two layers of modified squamous epithelial cells called podocytes. The network of capillaries in Bowman's capsule Bowman's capsule are called glomerulus. As I said, the Bowman's capsule and glomerulus together are called as Malpighian corpuscle. So here Bowman's capsule as well as glomerulus put together is called renal corpuscle. It is called as renal corpuscle, or it is otherwise called Malpighian corpuscle. So what is renal corpuscle or Malpighian corpuscle? It consists of a cup or a bowl shaped structure called Bowman's capsule, then composed of two layers of squamous epithelial cells. So inside we can see they are called as podocytes, squamous epithelial cells, and the network of blood capillaries, what you all are seeing here, this is nothing but called glomerulus. What is glomerulus? It is nothing but tuft of blood capillaries. What do you mean by tuft? Group of blood vessels, you can say. So the network of capillaries are called glomerulus. The Bowman's capsule and glomerulus together is called as Malpighian corpuscle. Then here you can see a branch of renal artery that enters into Bowman's capsule is called afferent renal arteriole. So here you can see that which enters is called afferent, or it is called AR, afferent renal arteriole, and the artery that leaves the glomerulus. So here you can see it is leaving. Here it is, you can see the arrow mark. Here it is entering, here it is leaving. That is called afferent arteriole. This is called, that which enters is called afferent. That which leaves the Bowman's capsule is called as what? Afferent renal arteriole. The diameter of afferent renal arteriole is larger than afferent renal arteriole. So when compared to afferent, this afferent arteriole, the diameter of the afferent is larger than compared to afferent arteriole. That creates pressure during which the blood flows in the glomerulus, which helps in filtration. So here, particularly in the Bowman, this is called as renal corpuscle, where actually the primary urine is formed. And this is called as glomerular filtrate. It is called as glomerular filtrate or primary urine. And this is also called as ultrafiltration. What do you mean by ultrafiltration? The fine filtration. As you know, most of the water should be retained, and even the important mineral nutrients should be retained in the urine. It should not be eliminated completely out. So all that process of absorption and elimination is mainly carried out by the blood, right, against the concentration gradient. So renal corpuscle, whatever the primary urine that is formed in the renal corpuscle is called as glomerular filtrate, or it is called the primary urine, and the process is called ultrafiltration. Fine filtration is called as ultrafiltration. So a branch of renal arteriole that enters into Bowman's capsule is called afferent renal arteriole, and the artery that leaves the glomerulus is called afferent renal arteriole, and the diameter of the afferent renal arteriole is larger than afferent renal arteriole. That creates what? Pressure, during which the blood flows into the glomerulus, which helps in filtration. Hope you have understood the important concepts of this particular chapter called excretory products and their elimination. Such a wonderful process it is, as we all have studied the structure of the kidney. As you know, we have studied about the human excretory system, which consists of a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, urinary bladder, and urethra. And we also studied about the structure of the kidney, which is a bean-shaped structure, and which is divided into outer cortex and inner medulla, and inner medulla has renal pyramids with renal calyces. Then we also studied about the Bowman's capsule, that is the renal corpuscle, having the Bowman's capsule with a tuft of blood capillaries. And we also studied, that is the nephrons. We studied about the structure of a nephron, where it is divided into renal corpuscle and renal tubules. So the renal corpuscle consists of what? Malpighian corpuscle with a Bowman's capsule and tuft of blood capillaries called glomerulus with afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. And the renal tubular section consists of PCT, that is proximal convoluted tubule, then loop of Henle, then DCT called distal convoluted tubule, and then the collecting tubule. So I'll be back in the coming session with yet some more interesting concepts of this chapter. Till then, goodbye and thank you.